champions that could pair well with the likes of Renekton or the possible mid lane dominance down the road here for game 2.
And I know, I fully agree with you. What's happening right now is it feels like a mirror of like, you know, of I'm going to pick my AD carry, I'm going to pick my support after. And so there is going to be a lot of focus on banning out these mage mid laners, removing the Lissandra, removing the Aurora here. So now I'm really curious because they're opening up a lot of the junglers at this point. And honestly, Talia is still open for the taking. I feel like Gods Do Bleed can still you know, do what they did earlier where they would have to have a team fight or just have a lot of map control. So there you go.
Yeah, and I'm expecting another mid lane ban, considering the fact that they already started with the Lissandra ban away. But instead, banning away the Vi. So this leaves the Lee Sin option for brother Bob Marley. If they leave it open, it's also a position wherein Gods Do Bleed could pivot themselves into that early game pressure. They already have the Leona. This is already a perfect combo and a key for them if they want to prioritize early.
I feel like this is Gods Do Bleed again saying like, okay, maybe it's fine to give away this Lee Sin because there's a lot of punish potential. You've got the Lee Sin coming in. There is an easy stun by the Leona. There's a lot of key ultimate. There's a lot of mobility coming from the side of Ambessa, and there is some distance between the Corki and the Lee Sin. Of course, Poppy! The anti-dash champion, of course. Disengage, of course.
This is very interesting for GDB because the final lock-in will decide how these champions are going to go into their respective lanes.
Talia.
And Talia will be the lock-in here. Very mobile composition so far and a lot of engaged tools that you have. Ambessa's ultimate, Leona Zenith Blade, you have Poppy's ultimate as well, and Talia's wall. So this is a really, really mobile and engaged-centric composition.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really looking forward to see what the final, what is the mid laner going to look like. I mean, we've seen a couple of like Renekton mids in the past, but it could be a very different story depending on what the last is going to be. No surprise. Not at all. It is going to be the Orianna. Always when you talk about Orianna, ball delivery system. Who's going to deliver the shockwave? Lee Sin. Promise a possibility as well. And of course, you have the Renekton being, you know, the low-hanging fruit. So this is a very standard mid-comp coming from the side of Bob Marley. So I want to see them survive the mid-game because when you think about it, it's very similar to where, what kind of game state Gods Do Bleed want as well.
Yeah, for sure. So I think it will be a battle of those trade backs. You have Bob Marley, who would probably focus on that early game advantage, probably on that top jungle.
Yeah, the top jungle.
Centered positioning here for Super Phaeton and Manila Alinam to give that huge priority for Necton. And then later down the road, when the ultimates are available, pivot towards the mid lane, pivot towards, actually not even a bottom lane because Polter needs time to be able to stack.
Yep, absolutely. They do have that late game, assurance in case the top jungle, the Renekton and Lee Sin doesn't work out too well. They have at least a Smolder. They have the big setup coming from the Orianna in these big team fights in the Dragon or in Baron.
Yeah, definitely loving this draft so far for Bob Marley in comparison to game number 1. This is drastically new, but really just GDB also matching out the pace. You have a lot of dueling capabilities with the Ambessa and with the likes of Leona. So now the question is, can Smolder keep, or well, rather, can Braum keep Smolder safe to be able to stack consistently into the bottom lane, wherein you have the opposition into the bottom side with the Leona aggression?
And I think that's the biggest question. How are you able to dodge out these solar flares or maybe bait these out so that you have a comfortable team fight in the following, I guess, skirmish? So it's just, I think these ultimate timings are going to be incredibly critical, but there is some mini good news though. That's why you have the Glacial Fissure. That's why you have the Braum with you for that disengage in case things get too sticky.
Yeah. In addition to that as well, we have an expectation here that Abandoned Dog, rather, will go elsewhere. Because the thing is, like, Corki is not exactly the most aggressive champion in our game, does not have the most damage in the early game as well. He needs the likes of the Essence Reaver, maybe the Triforce, really depending on the path of what he wants to do for this specific game. So my expectation is that Leona will go towards mid lane, kind of balance out that aggression that a potential Lee Sin may have towards the early mid game phase.
I agree, especially if you have priority like this now. there is that big potential for the Leona to roam around with the Poppy, and possibly just really take advantage of how not as mobile of a champion an Orianna is. So there's going to be priority-wise is going to be in favor of the Talia, but that also sets up a potential dive. So it's all up to the Lee Sin to relieve pressure across the lanes, because as you can see now, look how low the Smolder is.
And that is what we were discussing just now, right? Can Braum keep the Smolder safe? Well, in fact, can Smolder keep stacking towards that late game? And with that pressure of Leona to close down the distance with the Zenith Blade and an additional stun as well, on top of that, it is going to be scary for Ice to be able to just go into the bottom lane and keep farming and farming.
And, well, Lee Sin's okay right now. He does have that safeguard. Just dally away, but it's the Rift Scuttler fight, and so far, priority-wise, has been in favor of God's Due Bleed, except Maze's lane.
Look at Leona. This is what we called. Here in this type of early game, you don't need to keep Corki safe, because Corki still has, what, the barrage wherein he's able to run through, or well, rather the Valkyrie, wherein he's able to just run through and self-heal to just have that distance away from the likes of Smolder. So it will be roam. That will be the name of the game here for the side of Gods to Bleed. And so far, Leona, being one of the most aggressive support currently in the professional scene, could have huge impacts into the mid lane and deny Super Fate Han of that potential execute.
And feeling ko importante yun kasi hindi na nagkakaroon ng, okay, hold that thought though. There is a gank at the bottom lane, but I think they're safe. The reason why this is so important na kailangan nila mag-focus sa mid lane is because Maze is not exactly having the best time right now. Hindi tulad ng kaya niya mag-solo lane. So far, medyo kanina natatalo siya, napupush siya sa sarili niyang tower. It's not as clear-cut as before. Now it's a little bit of balance because Renekton is a very early game champion. So ngayon, kailangan nila mag-rely dito sa mid lane this time around for control, and then you go top to help your lane.
Yeah, and GDB was maybe like during the draft, they were doing, you know what, let's do a double bluff here. We'll ban away the Lissandra, follow through with the Vi, we'll leave the Lee Sin open. Because the thing is, we'll just pick up the Leona, we have the Ambessa, we have the likes of Talia that can roam across the map. This will be a 3-man rotation, as we are seeing right now. Hovering on the top side of the map, we have Talia being sought out by the Braum as well. So the opposition has information, and now you have the flash coming through, the knockup is there as well. The follow-up, the CC chain is flawless, and that will be the first blood going to Abandoned Dog.
Oh my gosh, and they're not stopping Keeper's Verdict just to make the Renekton go fly away. But the CC lock, the chains, they are deadly.
But we have to consider as well, we saw Super Phaeton into the bottom side get the kill onto Kuro as well. So this is still a back and forth between these two teams. But the fight's not over. We have the chase coming through for Super Phaeton with a Sonic Wave. The counter denied, but the knockup as well is really good. But good disengage coming in from the Lee Sin. The pacing will be very important. Sonic Wave will not connect. Renekton coming into play as well, but a Call to Meek will not connect onto anyone. And so far, it will be a battle of brawl here between these two sides, but no committal as of yet. And a disengage coming in for the side of GDB.
Oh, everyone wants to party, really. From the oh, hold that thought. There is another fight.
Kuro single-handedly battling up against two. Geisha Fisher now did not connect. Actually,
the flash!
Smolder using the ultimate, the turnaround. He's able to get the kill. What a play coming from Kuro time and time again. Game number 1 going to game number 2. He's showing up big time. He will be like the dependent if there is anyone that the team needs.
And it's happening, right? We talked about this during the draft because of, you know, Maze's pressure and presence in general for the previous lane. This gives leeway for the AD carry of God's Due Bleed to farm safely, to really grow and be very scary in the mid game. But hold that thought. Well, it's a Lee Sin, but yet
knocked off, follow through by the Poppy. And now you have the Braum as well in front to deny a lot of damage coming in from Talia. So really good response coming in from both sides here. Finding those opportunities to go back and forth in terms of damage, but both teams have to keep it safe. 35 seconds before the first objective comes up.
You already see the swap of lanes, and yet we get to see the AD carry of God's Due Bleed still remain intact. I mean, It is the reset. There is objectives to be had. And I'm excited to see this fight. I mean, if you imagine it, on the side of God's Dude lead, Solar Flare, Talia, big knock-up, Keeper's Verdict, minimize the numbers. I think that's how I imagine the fight would go. On the other side of the spectrum, Shockwave should be a key factor here, and a kick, or Glacial Fissure to really make sure that the Smolder can kite safely.
Although one of the caveats that I'm seeing as well, it will be hard to bring the ball onto Lee Sin, just because if you are further away from that distance, it will not be connecting with the Shockwave. But good deny here from Braum for that wall. Smolder with the ultimate into the backside as well. Glacial Fissure following through. Now looking at the backside, Poppy is gone already. It's 2-man down for the side of Brother Bob Marley, and now they're trying to fight, they're trying to chase, going in for those trades. It's a 3v3, or well, rather 3-on-3 trade.
Oh my.
And now both these teams has their treat. What a fantastic showing with that turnaround for GDB.
I think the reason behind that, I felt like GDB was going to win that fight, but the problem is I think it was a temporary 4v5 because Maze was still on his way from the base. So medyo a little late, so that was the window that Bob Marley could take advantage of, and they were rewarded. But here comes the second reset. We could see another fight or a trade in objectives.
But look at the rotations here and the positionings coming in for the side of Brother Bob Marley. Hovering towards the Drake. Everyone is going towards the bottom side of the map here, but Poppy is nowhere to be found. If they force out the fight, this will be a 4v5. Rift Herald goes to the side of GDB, so it's all about buying time. Who's gonna get the Drake? It will be Lee Sin who secures it. So a 1-for-1 trade and objectives, but kills are coming in towards the side of GDB as Lee Sin goes down and another one follow through. It will be a man advantage. Gods do bleed, showing their dominance, going for the chase onto Smolder. Another kill going to the side of Poppy and making it fall over like dominoes. And this will be Braum, the only one that's standing, hoping for that ace. But nevertheless, they got what they came for. They got those kills, and they got a huge gold injection.
Gold injection, because I do believe the Rift Herald is able to get a bunch, get a charge on that second tier tower. And therefore now, it's getting a lot, but
Sonic Wave will not connect, but it doesn't matter.
A little bit agreed. But at least there is some sort of exchange at the bottom side of the map. So they're trying to get that outer tower, and they're able to successfully get that.
Yeah, and another turret as well. Destroyed by the side of Gods Do Bleed into the bottom side. So 2 turrets already being secured by them, essentially giving them a 5k gold lead. So this is starting to ramp up. This is starting to hurt the side of Brother Bob Marley. But once again, this semifinals, a lot of stakes on the line. 200k overall prize pool, with a lion's share going to the first place at 100k.
Exactly. And of course, we have Gods Do Bleed 1 game away from joining Mike Test in the grand finals. And of course, as you get to see, the first place prize will take home 100,000 pesos. That is insane.
What will you do with 100k?
Bills.
Bills.
Bills, food.
Electricity.
Rent.
Very
relatable ba?
very relatable and very practical.
But honestly, bakasyon also.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, true.
But this is not fun. You have 3 people looking to get that kill on to Manila. Alinam going for the knockoff. Follow through with a Zenny play. Glacial Fissure trying to buy time. Smolder going for the ultimate into the backside. But there's no follow through. There's no CC. And now Renekton gets picked off.
Insane tower dive, and they're not stopping.
Fight's not over. Tali comes through, surfing over the walls here. But no one's getting brought down. Smolder getting the kill, or well, rather getting killed into the back lines. What a huge dive from GDB. Constantly looking for those values in the side lanes.
Oh my word. 7k gold lead now for the side of Gods Do Bleed. They wanna end this series in a 2-0 possibly. They really are a team that knows how to take advantage of their lead. They know how to constrict and choke space away from brother Bob Marley, and now they're taking you know, a lot of these objectives around the map. A lot of these turrets are now falling down, so there's not a lot of space for Brother Bob Marley to safely farm in their own jungle. It feels like they're gonna make a death squad, and they can do that because they have the Zenith Blade, they've got the Solar Flare, they've got the damage from Kuro on this Corki. There's tons of dash. Talia can also follow up from across the map. So this is so scary. The Weaver's Wall really showing dividends.
Yeah, it's not just even Talia himself. You have public execution coming in from Ambessa, which can close down the distance very quickly. You have the Valkyrie coming in from Corki, and potentially even the package as well, giving that extra boost in distance. Poppy can quickly come in with that knock-up. So these are very mobile champions, and they have so much utility, so much gap closer that can come into a fight as a snap of a finger. So that is something that Brother Bob Marley has to keep in mind. They have to be wary of it, and I think Braum would be such a crucial player in this matchup to deny some of these big engages.
Glacial Fissure so far has not been panning out because they've always not just sniped through and really poked through the entire squad here before
Dragon.
anything else happens. Dragon has now spawned. Let's see, there's a flash.
Sonic Wave onto Poppy. No all-in as of yet. Waiting for that opportunity, waiting for that angle. The shield is brought up by Braum, but full control by the side of GDB onto the Infernal Drake.
Maze again being quite the nuisance and grabbing aggro from across the map. And because of that, it is a free dragon. They're able to take it for themselves.
And I like the spacing coming in for the side of Bob Marley as well. They know that they are on a massive disadvantage. If they push through with the potential steal on the Infernal Drake, they risk losing that objective alongside with the Baron if GDB wins that fight. So they do not want to put out that risk, and instead just playing towards the top side of the map, keeping the Baron safe and keeping them alive for a bit longer, waiting for Ice to scale longer, getting more stacks and getting more power as the game progresses.
I mean, AK Gold lead, nothing to scoff at for sure. And just as you said, one wrong move, they will lose the Baron and lose more towers at the entire map. So now they're just really hovering about on this top, this Baron quadrant of this space and willing to give up objectives on the opposite side as long as they're able to take advantage because they have the Lee Sin. Fantastic at stealing the objectives, and this is the angle that's in favor of them. But if he dies, then it's Baron!
The backline stun. Can't do nothing. Lee Sin was just a standing statue. And one more shot from Kuro. Gets that double. And now it's a 3v5. They're fighting on top quadrant jungle. It's Poppy leading the charge into the front lanes as well. The wall really removing that retreat path for the side of Bob Marley. And 4 is a race from the team.
Oh my word. That was a surprise. That was a jump scare. He just wanted the cruds, and now Baron is now going to immensely increase the lead that Gods Do Bleed has.
And this is what we discussed a while ago. Like, any one of these players can start the fight, and everyone can follow through because of their mobile skills. Really just a gap close for every single one. You don't know what to expect. Where the follow through will come out. Is it the left side? It's the right side? Bottom flank? Where is it gonna come from?
And that's the thing that we talked about too. The Leona really enables this death ball. And in the jungle, of course, it's very advantageous for a Poppy as well because of the Kabedon that a Poppy can bring to a team fight. So again, the jungle is very dangerous.
Lee Sin, going for the right flank. Hoping for that opportunity. Will not find that angle. Now the knock up from Poppy onto the wall. There's no escape. It will be Braum who's getting denied. And now it's a 5v4. It will be Bob Marley who has to retreat. The wall comes through. Talia is getting engaged. The stasis will buy them some time. Will not be able to put him down. It's one more down. Oriana is gone. Renekton, Manila Anilnam finding that opportunity to retreat. But now the overextension coming from Poppy. Putting him down. Lumiere brought out, taken out of this matchup, but the inhib goes down already into the bottom side. The Nexus will be open, but the shield will buy them a bit more time, waiting for those respawn timers to come through, and everyone is low from the side of GDB, so they have to reset first.
Naku, nakakatakot tong Smolder. Kala ko makakatama at makakapatay, but they still have the Baron. They only have one casualty here, and they are okay to wait, and they are willing to wait. There's just a lot of damage already on the base. And with the lead that they have, they're pretty happy, and they're just willing to wait for the next dragon to spawn possibly and bait them into a fight and then end the game.
Yeah. The thing is, the win con at the moment already for Gods to be is just to wait for Baron. Because that ability is to force out the fight, either to force out the objective, get the objective for themselves, or force out the contest coming in from Brother Bob Marley, and then after that, turn around. If they win that team fight, it's over.
100%. And I mean, it could start here at the Dragon in 20 seconds as well if you know, they're willing to contest. If Brother Bob Marley is willing to contest this. Kasi nag-increment na yung lead, and it's really, really difficult right now to... And we talked about baiting ultimates as well on this side. We have not seen a killer shockwave just yet. We're at the point of the game na at medyo masakit na ang shockwave, medyo relevant na yung damage. Hindi lang yung CC, pati na rin yung damage. So, antayin natin yung delivery system mamaya.
Yeah, I think this is expected. Like Lee Sin, or rather, Bob Marley would not contest the Ocean Drake. It's really just down to the Baron Nashor. And you mentioned about the shockwave. I think it will be really important. But it's just a scary moment for Gods Who Bleed because once again, they have so much gap closer, so much engage tools. Like, where's it gonna come from?
Yeah.
Long range engage is coming from every single side of the map.
Isang combo lang. Half health na ang Brom. Ang
Is that-
sakit.
Yeah. Attack just melting at the front of danger. Now the wall comes through. Isolation onto the right side. One down already. A Smolder gets demolished. It will be a man advantage for them, but they still keep on fighting. Braum goes down. Lee Sin is gone. 4 kills already. Oriana, the only one left standing. There is a potential to clear down the wave, but it does not matter as Talia will secure the ace. And it will be GDB who is looking for the finish as Inhib goes down in the mid lane. The bottom lane is open. The Nexus will be the target. And Gods Do Bleed will finish the game here in the semifinals, securing the grand final spot up against Mike Test next week.
Gods Do Bleed. Ready and hungry for that rematch, but it's not for revenge, but to win again. Crazy, crazy stuff over here at Ionia Cup. And this time, it's a 2-0, a dominating, convincing win from Gods Do Bleed.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the coming in from the draft, the execution, these type of plays are amazing. I mean, the composition itself, we keep on mentioning this, but these are long-range engage tools across the board from every single one of them.
100%. Again, we talked about how impactful Maze was in the previous game. It attracted so much aggro to the point that Kuro was able to really farm. And there were so many moments too where even though his support was he was still able to win a 1v2 situation. And honestly, because of that, it really hammered down the pain even more and let the Corki scale faster and be very relevant in these fights.
Yeah, those winning conditions from Gods Do Bleed as well, but also considering the fact that the winning condition for Bob Marley in game number 2 was really to bank onto the Lee Sin, trying to target the advantage into the mid lane and onto the top lane, but instead it was Gods Do Bleed who was doing a coin flip there, or well rather doing a double bluff there, getting the advantage instead onto the top side of the map, really demolishing Manila Alanam, which is one of the key factors for Brother Bob Marley's winning condition, and also the mid lane wherein Talia, or rather Mira Izu, was just constantly roaming around alongside with Abandoned Dog, just getting a lot of pickoffs.
Exactly. I mean, having an Oriana is a very... You know, it's a lane where you're not really supposed to do anything early game, so this was really heavily taken advantage of by Gods Do Bleed. Seriously, having to put the Leona in the mid lane and then traveling to top, setting up for a crazy dive, and just really setting up Maze again. And because of that, you know, 1v1 not working out, having the rest of the team just really join the rest of the fray, equalized everything. And after that, towers are gone, jungle is like a contamination zone. Like, you're not allowed to step foot in your own jungle at all because the rest of the members of Gods Do Bleed is right there. They have the tools to lock you down and put you to sleep forever.
Yeah, and that's I think one of the biggest headaches between an Oriana and Talia matchup is that yes, Talia is such a mobile champion. Once she rotates, traditionally what we see is the mirrored mid laner also doing the same thing, trying to catch up and trying to support whatever lane Talia is going for. But the thing is, you can never outrun